Good morning, everybody, and assalamu alaikum. Hope you guys are doing great. Can you guys hear me okay? Let's go ahead and get started over here. So let's start with the CLI. Refresh our knowledge. If I can go over here to my Google Chrome browser, you see I have different profiles set up over here. So I have one for the Linux team. And then I want to go to my terminal, which is right here. And my username is Asad B, ABC123. I'm logged into the system. If I run the uptime command, I can see there are 59 users logged in. I want all of you guys to take a moment to log into your server so you can follow along. Then we're going to run all the commands that we have that we learned yesterday. So let me just quickly see. So this server has been up and running for 13 days. The timestamp is 12/12, which is pretty accurate. And Nasser Bhai, I forgot, what is this 1107 refers to?
So because this is 24-hour military time, right? So that's 11th hour and the 7th minute so far the system has been up for the next 24 hours. Then it will become 14th days.
So this is all the timestamp over here.
All the time.
Oh, okay. So 13 days, 11th hour, 7 minutes.
Yep.
This is part of this uptime. Okay. Excellent. And what is all this over here?
That's basically amount of pressure on the system. That's all.
Kind of a load on the server.
Yeah, exactly.
How much the server is being used.
Yep.
Okay, so briefly, this is the load for the last 1 minute.
Yep.
And this is the load for the last 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
And this is the load for the last 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Yeah.
So the server is trying to show us basically how your system has been doing for the past 15 minutes in intervals of 5 minutes interval, 3 intervals.
Yeah.
1 minute, 5 minutes, and the 15 minutes. If this number is increasing, that means there's more pressure on the server.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you say pressure or more load on a server, what is that load specifically?
So that load could be, because all of these guys are logging in, all of the students are logging in, all of them are executing commands, all of them are starting these processes, these programs. So that all has to be computed for. So that's going to end up showing.
So basically what you're saying is, at the end of the day, everything goes back onto these resources on a physical server.
Yep.
So this is my physical server, and there's a CPU, which is one of the resource. Every program that you run has to go through the CPU. And usually everything, I'm going to keep talking about this till you get it. Hard drive, RAM, slots, right? These are chips. Things are installed over here, programs. Your user account information is stored over here. When you log in, your user account information, all those files that are holding your user account information, such as your password, your login name, the shell that you're using, it basically gets launched. A copy of it comes to the RAM. From this RAM, it gets fed into the CPU, and that's how you see the results. Every time you type any command, it takes up all of these resources. It has to touch the hard drive. It has to touch the RAM. It has to touch the CPU. Don't forget the network card that's part of your system. That's how you're able to come in to this server. Yeah. So even network card is involved in every command that you type in. So there are some packets going back and forth. Yeah. So therefore, when I talk about load, how much load is on the server, I am collectively talking about utilizing the hardware, the hard drive, the RAM, the CPU, the network card. That is the load on the server. And in your uptime command, sorry, this is the picture of the load. I'm gonna take a snippet over here, and I'm going to take this over here, and we're gonna drill it down over here. There at 11, 12, 12, 59 users were logged in. Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is 1 minute load average, 5 minute load average, 15 minutes load average. Load on your server. As the number of users increase, the load number is going up. The load number is going up in 1 minute. You see, the 15 minutes is not that much changing. I'm sorry, the 5 minute slot is not that much changing. The 15-minute slot is not changing, barely changing, but the 1 minute is changing rapidly. Take a look at this. This is the time on the server. At 12:12, 19 seconds, I have 59 users. 42 seconds, I had 68 users, about 10 more users logged in. So guess what? Load increased to 33 from 0.29. This is 33% of your server is being used. This is 31% of your server is being used, because as more people were logging in, take a look at this. At the same time, more people were logging in, more network card was utilized. And ladies and gentlemen, when I had 1 or 2 people logged into my beautiful server, as Trump says, beautiful, 1214, ladies and gentlemen, I have the load average going to 38%. Is that right, Nasir bhai, 38%?
Yeah, 30. So this is basically the 35% of no, so 38% of the single CPU basically.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. 38% of a single CPU. I likes you, Nasir bhai. Why you're so smart? Let me ask you this question. How long you been in the industry, Nasir bhai?
It's about 10 years.
10 years. It took you 10 years to get to this level, to understand all of these things. Isn't that right?
Yes, it did.
Yes. Yeah. So every day studying. And what did this Linux do to you, honestly speaking? If you could give me your life story, because people would love to hear that. Tell me your background a little bit. I want the people to know you a little bit more.
Is-
Are you busy right now?
Sorry, I was answering the questions there.
Okay. If you're busy, we can come back to the story later on.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Let me answer these questions, please.
Okay, go ahead. All right. Okay, no problem. So you continue with that. We're gonna come back to you. Okay.
By the way, I stand corrected. But that is 38% of the overall CPU usage. Okay, it's not single CPU, please.
Overall. Okay.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah. So you divide
Okay.
that by the collective number of CPUs.
Okay. Overall CPU utilization. So that's the 38% of the entire CPUs.
So 100% would be your collective CPUs. So
Okay.
let's say if you're 20 or 24, that would be 100%. So overall computation power is 8%.
Okay. All right. Anyway, we will come back to this topic. This is a little bit complicated. All I want you to know for now is that your server has resources such as CPU, RAM, and hard drive. As the number of people, more people log in and they start using the server, you're going to end up using more of these resources. As you use more of these resources on your server, the load average is going to continue to rise, as we see over here, as we see over here, as we see over here. Not over here precisely. It went down for a second, but this is in every minute it gives you. Every minute. Okay. So this is, you need to know for your test. For your test, you need to know the command that will show you the number of users logged into your system. The command is uptime. The command that will show you the exact time on your server, which is still the uptime. The command that will give you the load averages on your server, still uptime. So one command will give you the load average, number of users logged into your server, the system time, and how long the system has been up and running. 13 days, 11 hours, 7 minutes. Okay. It's a beautiful command. By the way, your interviewer, they love to ask question on this command. I can bet you my empty wallet somebody's going to ask you this question. Let's continue to look at our command line. All right, help me out, folks, over here. Give me all the commands one by one that we learned yesterday so I see where you guys stand. All right, let's start with the ID command. What username am I logged in with? ID command. ID command gives me my username. The username is usually alphanumeric value. I said 123. I said B, Mike A, Mike.Tyson. ID would give you the numerical value. Sorry. ID would give you the numerical value. Now, the second command to check your ID that you're logged in with. Who am I? So you can see over here, it is Asad B for me right over here. Give me the command over here. I am logged in. Hold on. I am logged in as a regular user. Now I want to become a powerful user, and the powerful user is root, and a super user that has all the privileges on Linux system. How do I change to my root account or super user account? The command is su, and it is asking me for the password. I'm not going to give it a password right now. So otherwise I would become, let me do this for you guys. What changed, ladies and gentlemen? I want to show you guys this. This is very important. Oh, yeah, right over here. What you see over here is a prompt. Okay, what you see over here is a prompt. What changed between this and this? Well, this changed. I'm not logged in as Asad anymore. I changed my account to root. This is my server name. It remains the same because I'm still logged into the same server. The $sign goes to the pound sign. This is the root login. This is how you differentiate. If somebody's using a regular account and the root account, this hash over here represents that this is a root account. Okay. And by the way, this is the working directory. We're going to talk about this later on. Let's continue. Give me another command over here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to exit out of this account from the root account. How do I do that? The command is exit. Now, I want to get some information about the server I am logged in. My manager says, hey, could you tell me what type of server you're, this server 101. Tell me what's the make and model on the server. How do I check that? Host name CTL. Ladies and gentlemen, on your exam, on your test, I can ask you this. The command to give me the make and model, you would give me host name. I can also ask you the command to give me the kernel version number. You would give me the same command. The command to check what operating system you're running, you would still give me this command. The command to check whether this is a physical bare metal server versus the virtual machine, you would still give me this command. The command to check your host name, to check what server you're logged on to, you would give me two commands. Aha, got you. Which one? Host name. Host name, CTL. Both of these commands would reveal the server name right over here. Host name versus server. Good job. You guys are doing good so far. Now, I want to see how many users are logged into this system. What's the command for that? Once again, move this to upstairs. A W command. W. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see over here. Oh, no. I said the number of users logged into your system. Number of users logged into your system. Yo, does this give number of users? Uptime. I have 121 people logged in. I like that. All of you guys are doing great. I love you for being smart, for being on the terminal, for taking charge of your life. I love you for that. Take a look at the load average. Is the load going up or down from the last time we saw? The load is going down. Why? I have 121 users logged into the system, and now the load is down. Before I had 68 people logged in, the load was spiking up. Why? Why? I am going to make you a solid system engineer. I promise you that. Because the less people logging in right now, I like you, Akib. You're beautiful. I'm going to speak only the Trump language, easy wording, so you understand it. Okay. The system is idle right now. You're all logged in. You're just sitting over there chilling. You're looking at your TikTok, Instagram. You're busy talking to your girlfriends. That's why the server load is down. You ain't running commands. You're fooling around. Stop doing that. Okay. So once you guys were logging in, all of a sudden everybody was logging in. Guess what? The network card, the CPU, the RAM, everybody was busy, crowded, entertaining you. And now they're like, oh, okay, this guy is taking it easy. I'm going to take it easy too. The load average just spiked up. Just the fact that I told you guys that you guys are sitting around not running command, you got up, you got activated, you start running commands. Guess what? This load spiked up. You see? You guys are smart, okay? The question being asked, I don't understand what to do after the hostname command. I am paying attention. I just wasn't here yesterday because of my family. Don't worry about that. We got you, okay? How to set the SU password? Don't worry about that. We will teach you. Just follow along, Sammy. Don't panic, okay? You will get a video. Don't panic. Just follow along. When you type the hostname command, take a look at this over here. All you see is the server name over here. That's all you need the hostname command for. The other way to check your hostname is hostname CTL. By the way, you logged onto a server which is running Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 9. Kernel number this. This is a Dell server, PowerEdge R620. You can call it server. You can call it host. You can call it node. You can call it servera if you're from South India. I was sitting in a meeting when the bunch of servers went down. We were on a conference call. I didn't know what was going on. And I hear this guy, my server is down, my server is down. I'm like, what this? My teacher never taught me server terms. So I'm teaching you South Indian terminologies as well because South Indians dominate this industry. Okay. You need to pick up some South Indian language as well. Servera is equal to server, is equal to host, is equal to node. You understand that is equal to host. So I'm going to continue to teach you some whatever language they use. No offense to anybody, by the way. This is the terminology that they use. Server down. Server down means server down. Okay. Katrina, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to log into the root account, Katrina? Are you one of those hackers? Good type of hackers that ask people for the password with the social hacking skills. Hey, I'm trying to log into your server. The SU command didn't go through. Could you kindly give me the password? Are you that type of a hacker that does the hacking via social networking? Social engineering or social hacking? No. You don't have the root password. You're not supposed to have the root password. Once you are familiar with the system, I promise I will give it to you. All right. So don't need to worry. Okay. It is also called a persuasion hacker. All right. With the cute smile. Hi, Assad. I'm trying to log into your server. The SU command didn't go through. Could you please help me? Aww. No, that's not going to work over here. Okay. All right. Let's continue, folks. Yo, what other commands I gave you guys? I forgot. What other commands I gave you guys? Clear command. Let's clear all this clutter over here. All right. What's the other command? What's going on with my terminal today? Okay, you know what? Let me open up another terminal. Yo, folks, let's do this. Now that you guys are educated, you're smarter, let's do a fun thing over here. Do me a favor, okay? I want everybody to exit out of this machine. Let's exit out. Exit, 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 exit. Quickly exit. Exit. No, just exit from your account quickly. And go ahead and go to your, if you're on Windows, Go run your CMD. Type CMD, type CMD over here and bring your command prompt. Open up this black window. We're gonna do the real way. Open up this black window over here. Now type this command, SSH. All right, let me make this bigger. SSH ASADB for me, for my username, replace with your username, replace with your username. SSH, put your username over there. SSH space, there's a space right here. My username, put your username over there at linoop.ddns.net. What is this? What am I saying over here? I'm saying this is the command you guys are going to run. I'm saying, hey, my Windows machine, here, let's break down this command over here. Write down this command on your machine, on your terminal, in your terminal. I am saying, hey, secure shell. There's a command called secure shell from your Windows machine, from your Mac. If you have a Mac, don't panic. Don't panic. It's all right. You didn't pay your goddamn $2,000 to panic. Don't panic. Just bring your terminal and type this command. SSH secure shell. Hey, secure shell. The command. I am Asad, my username. You created this username. Take me to this server. @ means take me. I am this user at this server. This is the host name. This is the server name. Server, host. What other name I gave it? Server, host, node. And what was the third one? Servera. Servera. Okay. Hey, yo, listen. Believe it or not, you need to pick up some South Indian language. Secure shell. I'm username Asad. Take me to this server. Let's go ahead and run this command. Here. It is asking me for my password. This is the same password that you created yesterday or day before yesterday. ABC123. It's not going to show you on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, now I am logged in the real way. I'm supposed to be logged in at work. The other way was an easier way to show you guys how to create your account. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and check how many of you are logged in. 69 people are logged in right now. Check how many of you are logged in. 70. Quickly. It did not work for my Mac. Not working. Again, let's do this one more time. Let's do this SSH. The account that you created, you must remember your account name. ASADB for me at sign linoop.ddns.net and hit enter. Now ABC123. I told you guys the specific password. And take a look at this. There's some of you are logging in with my username, unfortunately. Uptime. And if I say W, grep for Asad B, take a look at this. You guys are logging in probably with my account. No worries. Uptime. Okay. Asad Bhai, my window is with my husband name. Don't worry about that. Whatever your window is, we're not concerned about that. We are just concerned about. Let me take a look at this over here. Oh, I forgot to tell you. It's going to ask you whether you want to continue or not. Completely forgot to ask you. It will ask you the first time, hey, the security, blah, 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 blah. This is the type of message you will see. Let me give you this message over here. Give me 1 second. Gurpreet gave me this one. I'm going to play this over here. Give me 1 second over here. I'm going to just paste it over here. right here. You will get this type of message. So then you will have to type yes. The authority of Linux established. If this is not blah, 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 do you want to continue? Say yes. Yes. And then it will ask you for username and password. Okay. Now go ahead, try one more time again. I'm having the issue when joining the server. Is there any way you can start all over again? Okay. We can try that. I'm sorry, but I don't know how to do this. It's okay. Listen, if it works for you, good. If it doesn't work for you, um, we're not gonna worry about this for now. Continue to work on your web thingy. Continue to work on your web thingy. Okay. This is more convenient for me. This just because I didn't give you the right instructions because I had the identity established. Some of you guys are in a little messed up situation. And by the way, hold on. Don't worry about this message over here. Take a look at this. This simply means now I can hack into your system. You're all vulnerable. No, I'm just joking. All right. Don't take it to your heart. Wallahi. No, absolutely no. Don't worry about this. This has to do something with the host identification. Don't worry. It is possible that someone is doing something nasty. Yo, I'm not doing anything. I promise you. I'm not doing anything nasty. I promise you. This has nothing to do. This is just the host ID identification changing for you. Don't worry about that. Remote host identification has changed. Oh my God, I got you guys into the mess. No worries. Let's continue working with the old way that we were doing. And let me see how many of you are logged in. 118. Let's come back. Let's come back. Now let's continue with the commands, okay? Let's go back to the old way through the website, web server. And I'll show you one day how to fix this, okay? I will show you. So give me all the commands that we know so far. We know ID command, we know who am I, we know host name, CTL, we know host name. What other commands we know? Give me the exit command. I don't want to run right now because it will exit me out. I know the clear command. I know SU command. What else? We were talking about the resources earlier, right? We were talking about the resources earlier. Let's take a look at the uptime right now. How many users are logged in? Beautiful. I like you guys. 141 users. Beautiful. Look at this. Load average is spiking up now. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. 93. 87 in 5 minutes. In 15 minutes, 53. Okay, no problem. The shutdown command is there as well, but we're not going to shut down the system right now. We were talking about the resources. How do I check how many CPUs this server has? The fun part right now. Yo, folks, everybody logged in? Everybody logged in. We are already here on a terminal. Let me log in. ABC 123. Is everybody good now? I have 158 users. Very good. Beautiful. By the way, the number of users is supposed to be more. I have more users logged into the meeting than the number I see over here. Now, what I want to show you over here is I'm going to minimize this. I'm working on a terminal. I like this because it gives you better fonts over here. Let's check how many CPUs this server has. LS CPU. If you look at this, ladies and gentlemen, LS command, go back over here. I'm going to take a snippet of this and break it down for you real quick. LS CPU is the command. And if I take this over here and bring it over here, I ran the command ls CPU, which is right over here. And then it shows me total number of CPUs is right over here. I have total number of CPUs 32 over here. 32. What type of CPU I have? The CPU is by Intel. And this is the CPU model number and the speed. It's a Xeon CPU. It's a Xeon CPU, okay? And then it has more detail about the CPU. I'm not gonna go into the more detail. I will give you the more detail in a paid version of the class. Right now, I just want you to know you have 32 CPUs. So this is how one little bit piece of the information you got over here. How do you check the number of CPUs? With the ls CPU command. If you come back over here, everything else is irrelevant to me. It's not needed for me. All I need to know is the number of CPUs. I have 32 CPUs over here, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot see the full screen of the snapshot. You cannot see the full screen of the snapshot. Okay, I don't know why you cannot see it, because I am sharing only my screen. LS CPU, the command ls CPU description could be noted as CPU count and the specs 100%. The ls CPU command will give you the CPU, will list all the CPUs, will show you how many CPUs you have. Okay, and then it will give you description about the vendor, the name and the make and the model. Will give you more information about your CPU. Okay, and the number of cores, the number of threads. I'm not going to go too much into details right now, the sockets, because we're going to cover this information in the performance section of the paid version. All right, so now what is the meaning of 32 CPUs? Oh, beautiful question you asked me. Oh my God. Let's take a look at this. CPU. CPU is a central processing unit in your machine, in your server. Every computer, laptop, desktop, iPad, iPhone, every cell phone, every device has a CPU, which is basically the brain of your computer, which is basically the central processing unit. Think of CPU. The programs are stored on your hard drive. When you install the operating system, all the program files are stored on your hard drive. Okay, they get copied into the RAM as you double click on them. They come into the RAM quickly, and then CPU process all the executable programs. All the executable programs. So CPU, think of this. The CPU is basically running all the programs, or every task that you do on your computer or on your server, it has to go through CPU. The more number of CPUs you have, let's just say if I had only one CPU in my computer, if I just had a one CPU, think of this one CPU as a one lane highway. All of your programs will have to be executed one by one on this CPU. They will get queued up. If I had a two CPUs, now these programs, one will go over here, the other one will go over here, one will go over here, the other one will go over here, one will. Now you have two highway lanes. So the more number of lanes you have, the more number of CPUs you have. Imagine the more number of lanes on the highway, no traffic. The number of lanes is equal to less traffic. The less number of lanes is equal to more traffic. The more number of lanes is equal to less traffic. So think of highway, why do we have so much traffic on the Belt Parkway if you are from the New York State, the New Jersey area? Because there's only 2 lanes or 3 lanes. If we had 8 lanes, it would be less traffic. The traffic would be divided. So each CPU, think of this like a 1 lane highway, 2nd lane, 3rd lane, 4th lane, 6th lane, 7th lane, 8, 9. Now your programs are spread across all of these CPUs. So now it can execute more programs in parallel. It can run your programs in parallel. That means if you look at this, all of these are programs. This is a program 1 snipping tool. Program 2 is a browser. Program 3 is Zoom window. Program 4 is OBS Studio. Program 5, Chrome again. Program 6, Note, OneNote, 7, Notepad, Command Line Terminal, PowerPoint. This is another program, heavy program. Sticky Notes. I'm running so many programs. And if I show you my task manager for my Windows, it will show you in great depth that how many programs I'm running over here. Okay, take a look at this. These are the resources on my computer: CPU, memory, disk, network, 3 CPU, right? And take a look at the app history over here. How much resources each one of this application is using. Okay. Uh, if you go to performance over here, take a look at this. How many CPUs I have? How many CPUs I have in my computer? I want you to open up your task manager too. I want you to type over here task manager and bring up your task manager in your machine, in Windows. I don't know what you guys use for the Mac, but if I go ahead and if I take a snippet of this right over here, and I just show you guys this in my snipping tool, I want you to figure out how many processors you have right over here, logical processors in your machine. I have 8. I have 8. And right over here, I have 8 CPUs. Okay, there's a one socket. One socket basically means one physical CPU. And then cores. Each core basically means it has logical processor, and then there's a thread which be also another logical processor. I don't want to go into too much details over here, but collectively you have 8 logical processors. What does that mean? Means I have a one physical CPU in my laptop, one physical CPU, but the CPU has a logical 8 CPUs inside. My software, my operating system, the driver for the CPU, the software for the CPU has made it like 8 lane CPU. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many CPUs I have in my server? 32 CPUs. And by the way, this is the name of the CPU over here. Another Intel Core i7 CPU, which has 8 logical processor. I want you guys to figure out how many logical processes you guys have. Wow, look at this. Some of you guys have 16 logical processes. Some of you have 4, some of you have 2. The less number of logical processes you have, the less processing power you have. The more CPUs you have, more processing power you have. Imagine you have a brain, right? And you can only talk to one person at a time because we have one single brain. You cannot talk to 5 different people at the same time. Can you? No, you can't, because you have a one single CPU, one processor in your brain, which is your brain, right? If you had 32 brains, you could do amazing things. You would be this walking AI agent, because you could do so much. You could multitask. In my opinion, and I'm not a sexist guy, in my humble opinion, women have 2 logical processors. Women have 2 logical processes. Men only have one physical and one logical process, because they only do one thing at a time. Women can multitask. They're working on something, they're talking about something. They have superpowers that men do not have. I'm sorry to break the news to you guys. That's what it is, okay? Now this part of the story, she can hear this, okay? Somebody say, don't let your wife hear this. Well, this goes in her favor, so she can hear this. Some of them have more than 2, I'm being told over here. From where you got this information, somebody's asking me. Well, this is just being in life for more than 40 years, I guess. You pick up, some things. Okay. So now, remember, as a man, you have a one physical processor and one logical processor. As a woman, you have a one physical processor and 2 logical processes. But my machine has a one physical processor and 8 logical processor. My server has, let's see over here one more time. How many here? How many, by looking at this, ladies and gentlemen, how many physical processes does this machine have? The socket, 2. 2 physical processes. There are 2 physical processes, and then 32 logical processes. 32 logical processes. I likes it. Okay, so you got that part right. Now you know how to check the number of CPUs installed in your server, also known as server. Now, how do you check the amount of RAM? RAM stores temporary files. Okay, how do you check the amount of RAM in your computer. The command is free hyphen or dash H. Free hyphen H. Let me give you this breakdown of this command over here. By the way, I'm giving you all these commands that they ask you on the interview. These are all the commands that they ask you on the interview. So after you take this program, you can head to literally head to Amazon and you can get a level 1 job. I promise you, you can get a level 1 job that pays you around $20, $25. Total, by the way, this is the command I'm using. This right over here is called flag. It is also called option. Pretty much all the commands have options to get the specific information that you're looking for from the command. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. Free command will show you the memory, installed memory in your machine. Remember, memory is like chips. Each chip, it has a certain size. Free command will show you the amount of memory your computer has. The total amount of RAM in this server installed is what? 31 gigabyte, you can say. It's gigabyte, the gigabyte, GB. 31 GB. And the use right now is 3.9. And free is this much. And I'm not going to talk about this right now. This is for the paid class. We're going to discuss this, which is very, very important. But for now, you know the amount of RAM installed on your server is 31. Used is 3.9. Okay. Now, I want you guys to give me the amount of RAM. RAM, think of it like your memory power. Let me give you the analogy on the difference between the hard drive and the RAM. Usually, you have your stuff stored on your cell phone, all the numbers, the contact information, whatever you're trying to get up from the information. When you're reading the information from your cell phone, whether you're reading the news or whether you are reading a number, a text message, you are bringing that information into your RAM. Think of this as your hard drive, the information that you see, because it's stored over there. It's permanently stored over there. And now the minute you see it, if I look at this message over here, what is this message saying over here? And the message coming from my brother Shahid, who's also my student, saying, "Good morning, my beautiful, lovely brother." So just by reading that message, I am bringing that text into my RAM. Good morning, my beautiful love. Now that message is in my RAM. As soon as I put my phone down, I start talking about the free command and the other stuff about Linux. In 1 minute, that message will be gone from my RAM because I no longer need that message. No, I mean, Shahid, I love you too, brother. You're in my heart. But, I'm going to forget about that till I see you next time, But humans are different. We have, affections, emotions, So, but that message, and also the news that I read this morning on Wall Street Journal, disheartening. I read a lot of news this morning on AI, and from the first thing I do in the morning is I read Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal gives me a real picture about the market and what is happening. And I read over here, and I'm still reading over here, that Tesla is launching its robo-taxi. That's what they call it. Robo-taxi, a robotic taxi. And this is just the beginning, that some of you guys will not realize this. But Amazon CEO says AI will lead to smaller workforce. AI is going, this is Amazon CEO. You know the number of people they hire? The number one company that hires the most number of people in America is Walmart. Do you know that? Did you know that? The biggest workforce in America is Walmart. And Walmart hires a lot of people to work in their stores. They're helping you in the customer service. They are storing goods over there. Guess what? Those people will be let go. Amazon does the same thing. Those people will be let go because AI robots are going to do that job and better than me and you because we have emotions, we have problems, and we associate our emotions with our work. AI robots, they do not do that. AI taxis will be driving you around. Some of you, it's very difficult to imagine this right now. This has happened in the history before when we got rid of the donkeys and horses and we started driving cars and motorcycles. Same thing is going to happen over here. So you need to adapt. You need to learn technologies that empower the AI. I cannot expect all of you guys to go back to college and learn AI. Learning AI and artificial intelligence and machine learning requires a strong mathematical, statistical background. Not me and you, we cannot do it, honestly speaking. And learning small AI tool is not going to help you. So I invite you to look into these technologies: DevOps, cybersecurity. Why DevOps? Because the more data is generated, all of these robots that are going to be working, doing the work, they're going to generate more data. Every single minute, you are generating a lot of data. We are generating a lot of data. That data is a fuel for AI. The data needs to be hosted on some platform. The data needs to be massaged. So data scientists, they're going to grow. 100% they're going to grow. Data scientists, again, require strong mathematical background and programming background. Software programming is going to go away. I'm not saying this. The CEOs are saying this. That's why we see the number of jobs in the tech industry go down this year. And the number of jobs in industries in tech sector like Docker, Kubernetes, these are DevOps tools, and cloud engineering, they are increasing. Cybersecurity is increasing. So these are easy things for me and you to pick up. Cybersecurity is easy. Relatively easy. Nothing is easy in life unless you sit down and commit yourself to work hard. Okay. But so coming back to this topic over here, this is how the RAM works. You see something, you bring it to your brain, and as long as you need that information, you keep it. And when you start doing something else, it's gone from the memory. It goes back to the hard drive. Like the text message is still on that hard drive. It's not probably, it is still sitting somewhere in my brain, because I got another text message from him. But it's going to go away at some point. This is how RAM works. So now the more RAM you have in your computer, the smarter your computer becomes. The more operations it can do, more programs it can run, more tasks it can do. So for the server, I have 32 logical processors. I have 31 gigabyte RAM. Tell me about your machine. Right. Another thing I want to check over here. Before I do this, by the way, I think I should have shared a slide with you, which is very, very important for you guys to understand, which is right over here. The size units. Okay. The size units, ladies and gentlemen, we need to understand this. Okay, so the size units, ladies and gentlemen, is very important. If you take a look at this, in computers, in cell phones, the data gets stored in size like bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, petabytes. And then you have yottabyte and exabyte, and so on and so forth. The smallest is bit, then you have a byte. Byte is usually 8 bits. Usually when you open up a single file with about one word, when you write a one letter Linoop, that's you can say 1 byte. Then the next size you have is kilobyte. Kilobyte is equal to 1000 bytes, you can say. About one page of the text in the notepad or in a Word, Microsoft Word. And then the next size you have is the megabyte. Megabyte is about one book, one picture, and what you do is basically, if you have 1000 kilobytes, it will give you 1 MB. And then the next size you have is the gigabyte. So usually the memory size is in gigabytes. So now you understand somewhat, the difference between the megabyte. Kilobyte is smaller than megabyte. Megabyte is smaller than gigabyte. And then you have the next one is terabyte. On the server level, you'll most likely be working with megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte. You will also come across kilobytes, some files in kilobytes. It's essential for you to differentiate the magnitude of the size. So if you're talking about a gigabyte, you probably one movie is like 1 GB and maybe a couple gigabytes. And a picture could be megabytes, few megabytes, not just 1 MB, few megabytes. And then the next size you have is the petabyte. Okay. Yeah, if you missed it, you missed it. Don't worry about this, please. And then we will give you a recording on the YouTube. Watch that you recording. Don't worry. And by the way, I'm also launching a class for my international students, probably starting from May. Let me see over here. Sorry, June. Yeah, probably July. Yeah, July 30th, most likely. I will start that class, which is 1 week from today, close to July 30th. So that will run for about 1 month or so, free class, repetitive of this. And if you want to join that, I'm going to blast the email to everybody with the link to join that class, free class, international students. I feel like I need to give them, I need to give them some information, and they need also some guidelines. So I'm going to do that. And so anybody can join that as well, but we will be transitioning into the paid program. And all of this stuff, I'm going to kind of quickly recap this in the paid program, and then I'm going to move forward. So, okay, let's take a look at this interesting over here. So you understand this, the difference between the byte, the kilobyte, the megabyte, the gigabyte, the terabyte, the petabyte. I want to show you how much information these companies are storing. So Microsoft has about exabyte amount of information. Meta, what is EB? Exabyte, yes, exabyte, all exabyte. Google, exabyte. Amazon, exabyte. So they are into exabyte. We are at me and your level, we're going to be in the megabytes. If we are working on our computers in gigabytes, the most we touch is terabyte, the amount of data we're going to deal with. Okay. But in Linux, you will see some files in a kilobyte size. This is kilobyte, megabyte is bigger than kilobyte, gigabyte is bigger than megabyte, terabyte is bigger than gigabyte. Okay. Also, I was saying, I'm going to send the invite to every single one of you. If you feel like you want to repeat the class again, you can come back and take that class for free completely. All right, let's continue. Oh, let's take a break over here for 10 minutes. The time is 1:23. We're going to be back at 2:23 p.m. I need to give a break to my vocal cords. Are you back? If you're back, just let me know you're back so we can get started. So we talked about so far, I just quick rundown of all the commands that we know. The command to check the server make and model, hostname CTL. I want these commands to be on your fingertips. The command to check your username, ID, or who am I? The command to check how many users are logged into your system. How many, not who. How many are logged into your system? Uptime. The command to check your kernel version. I'm giving you one more command on this, which is the known in the industry. Hostname CTL is not that much known in the industry. It's only known to see the host name and also to change the host name. You can use the host name CTL to change your server name. But the command to check your kernel, the host information, such as what is the server I am on, What is the kernel version is using? Is this Linux or is this Unix? You use the uname-a command. Uname-a. 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 And pay attention to this over here. I'm going to break it down. I'm giving you another interview command. Uname-a. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Those of you who accuse me of slow teaching, I am engraving these commands in your brain. Okay, this is how I teach. Take a look at this. Uname is the command. -a separated by space over here is your flag. Flag, oops, spelling mistakes, is equal to option. This is the beauty of command line. Command line gives you a command, tons of options, and you can choose what option to choose from. And I'm going to tell you how to see those options. By looking at this, you can tell a whole lot about your machine. First thing, this is a Linux machine. This is the name of your server. Second thing, the name of server. Okay. This is the kernel version, ladies and gentlemen. The kernel version 5.14. And it tells you that this is x86 architecture. This is Intel based server. Intel is a company name that makes CPUs, motherboards, network cards, and this is Intel based. Another popping company is NVIDIA. They are making AI chips and graphic cards. Most of the graphic cards in your computer, they come from NVIDIA. AMD is another company that makes CPUs. Intel is known for its top CPUs, motherboards, network cards. AMD is also another company. Thank you, Akab, for doing this amazing job. Again, what is this? Okay, yes. So this is the relevant information that you need to know over here. Just pay attention to the relevant information over here. Uname-a. Now, how do I know the command? What does the command do? How do I know all the flags in the command? I can always type the command man and provide the command name. Man stands for manual pages. Man is a shortcut for manual pages. Linux or Unix give you manual pages, information about the command and how to use that command. When we type the command on our terminal, the command, this is called the syntax. This is the syntax of the command. What is this? Syntax. The way you type the command is a syntax. If you have an error in the syntax, for example, you typed uname and then you added without space a over here, it would be syntax error. Syntax error. Your syntax is wrong. You typed the command wrong. The command should be, the right syntax is uname-a. If you're standing next to a technical person and you're typing the command wrong, they're not going to tell you you typed the command wrong. They're going to tell you you have a wrong syntax. And you're like, what? What? So syntax means the command that you type, the format of the command. Now, let's go ahead and take a look into the manual pages. I am looking for the command uname. I don't know what it does. I want to know all of its options, also known as flags. I'm going to type man and the command name. There you go. This is how you get the information, the manual pages. Uname, print system information. Now, for your interviews, you need to say these things. What does the uname command do? It prints the system information. Simple is it for you. So what is the uname command does? It prints the system information. I use the flag. I use the flag A, which means give me all, print all information in the following order. Print all the information in the following order. And if you look at this, it is, you have all of these options over here, ladies and gentlemen. You have -R to check the release, kernel release, when the kernel, what kernel you're using, when was it released, because if kernel has updates, you can update your kernel. It's going to show you the release date. It's going to show you the version of the kernel. Version is like, if you have a 5 kernel, then there's a .15 or .14. That means this is the latest version, or older version. So uname -P will show you the processor. Print processor type. x86-64 is the type of the processor. So all of these, print the operating system. If you type uname-O, it's going to only give you Linux because it's a Linux operating system. Okay. Now, here we go. And now let's take a look at this one by one over here. So type for me uname-S and tell me what you get. Uname-S in the terminal. Uname-S. What do you get? Uname-S supposed to give you it's Linux, okay? It tells you that this is the Linux kernel. Prints the kernel name. This is Linux kernel. This is not Unix kernel, Linux kernel. Do me a favor, do uname-N and tell me what you get. Uname-N. Let me open up another window over here. Uname-N. Oh, okay, I'm typing the wrong one. Okay. I said A, I said B. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. So you see, I have 2 windows open up now. Now I'm going to type uname-A, will give you all the information. Uname-N. Print me the node name, the server name, host name, server name. Okay. Give me the release version for the kernel. Print the kernel release uname-R. This is the kernel release version. This is the kernel version that we are using right now. Give me the machine type, machine hardware name, uname-M. x84-66, x86-64. This is the type of hardware we are using. This is the type of hardware, the architect type. Okay. Give me the processor type. Give me the processor type with the -P. With the -P. Again, we're using the x86-64. Don't worry if you don't know this stuff. So give me the operating system that you're using, -O. It's Linux, GNU Linux. We'll talk about GNU some other time, but it's Linux primarily. So if you want to know all of these things in one shot, the command is uname-A. Just remember one command. Uname-A will give you the host, operating system, Linux, server name, kernel version. End of the story. Now, let's continue and then explore other command. So we looked at the CPU. Let's see the resources of our computer. CPU, the command that will print the CPU information. Come on, quickly. The RAM, memory. The command that will print its information. Come on, quickly. Beautiful, you guys know this, free -H. The ls CPU, beautiful. Now I want to know the free command. What does it show me? And what is the -H used for? I'm going to go back to my terminal. What do I need to type in here to get the information about the free command? How do I know? Man free. All right. So free command displays the amount of free and used memory in your system. Beautiful. The amount of memory which is free and used. Also the installed memory. Let's go. down to the H. Let's go down to the H, ladies and gentlemen. Aha! Dash H, human. Show all the output fields automatically scales to the shortest 3-digit unit. Listen, if I use the free hyphen M, it will give me the output in megabytes. If I use the kilobytes, it would give me the kilobyte. If I use the G, it will give me in the gigabytes. Then you will have to convert those. So why not use the H option to make it humanly readable? So, the minute I see it, I know it's gigabyte. I don't have to do the conversion. For example, let me show you over here. Free hyphen K. Now, let's take a look at this, okay? The information given over here is in kilobytes. Okay? It's in kilobytes. So let's take a look at this. I'm gonna give you a magic formula over here to convert these numbers. If I want to convert, I'm just gonna focus over here. If I want to convert, now understand the given information is in kilobytes. It stands for KB, kilobytes. So how would I convert this number into kilobytes? All right. How would I convert this number into gigabytes or megabytes? How would I convert this into gigabytes? The first three numbers are always going to be kilobyte because the output is in kilobyte. So mark this as a kilobyte. This is kilobyte. The next three is going to be in megabyte. Just mark this, say, tell yourself this is megabyte. And this is your left, the next one is gigabyte. So you're left with gigabyte. If you break it down, this is 32 gigabyte. 32 gigabyte. How easy this is. How beautiful this is. So first three is kilobyte. Next three is megabyte. The last three is gigabyte. This one is missing over here. So this is 16 gigabyte. You see, you're so smart now. You can look at any number and you can change it. Kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte. 4 gigabyte is used. 4 gigabyte is used. Let's take a look at the free one. Kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte. 23 gig. You know how smart this is going to make you look in front of somebody by just looking at this number? People are going to be punching in their calculators. They're going to be dividing in by 1024 and then come up. And now you can just, by looking at this, you can just simply say, oh, this is gigabyte. What is this? If the output is in kilobyte, I know the first three are going to be kilobytes. The second three are going to be megabyte. The next three are going to be gigabyte. Anything that you want to convert. And the next three is going to be terabyte. The next three is going to be petabytes. There you go. I made you much more smarter today. You can look at any number and you can easily tell, what is this? Is this kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte? 33333. Does that make sense to you guys? Or am I the only one excited over here? Is it a beauty fly or ugly fly? If you don't understand, then this is ugly fly. If you understand this, this is beauty fly. And I'm not looking for beauty fly only, okay? Because I am beautiful to begin with. I don't care what you tell me, all right? But I'm looking to know where you stand. Are you beautiful? That's the question. Can you please go over that one more time? Okay. All right. Let's do this one more time. Let's do this one more time. Let's take a look at this over here. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Look, man free. If I want to get this information in bytes, I would use the B. So far, so good. So look, here's the objective. I want to know how much RAM I have installed in my server. But let's just say somebody throws this large number in front of you and says, okay, what is this? Is this a megabyte? Is this kilobyte? Is this gigabyte? I'm going to solve the smallest unit, free hyphen B. And like, let's take a look at this number. I'm going to copy from here, here, and I'm going to explain you this right now. This output is given to me in bytes. Byte. How do I convert this byte into gigabyte? This is the whole exercise over here. Because the memory is gigabyte. It's not megabyte. It's not byte. It's in gigabytes. So how do I convert this number? Well, the first three is byte because it tells me that this is a byte. The first three is byte. The second three is kilobyte. The third three is megabyte. The fourth is gigabyte. Anything that comes after this is terabyte. So the first three is byte. Second three is kilobyte. Then I have megabyte. Then I have gigabyte. It's the approximation, okay? It's the approximation. It's not the exact thing, but it's the approximation. That's the fun part. Byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte. The memory is 33 gigabyte. Now, how much is the free RAM over here? The first three, byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte. 24 gigabyte is free. Now, why go through this hassle? Why go through this hassle if you have free hyphen H converted in? You know, that's what I said. It's approximation, 31, 33, doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. Just look at this. Free is 22. Used is 4.1. Our total is 31. 15 is swap. Now, ladies and gentlemen, next resource we're going to look at is our hard drive. How many of you are with me so far? Don't raise your hands, raise your standards. How many of you are with me so far? If you don't give me some feedback in the chat, Beautifly is easy way to tell me that I'm with you. Beautifly. And ugly fly is the way to say, hey, get the hell out of here. You are nobody. You're a piece of crap. And you think you're going to change my life by teaching me all of this stuff? This is free stuff. I'm not used to getting free stuff in my life. And I know this is a scam because this is free. There's nothing free in life. They told me this. And who the hell are you teaching me for free? Yeah, I get it. No worries. No worries, I get it. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I have literally around 70, 80 people that responded to me. 100 plus people are like, whatever, this guy thinks he's got it all figured out, his piece of crap, you know. Sir, do you have the recorder for the class? Can I get an email? I have to leave now for my class. Very interesting. Okay. No, sorry, but no problem. We will give you the link to the YouTube channel. You can watch on the YouTube. Okay. Now, this is the total minus use is free. Yes, Amna, you're right about that, but it's a little bit more complicated. Okay. But you're right. Beautifly. I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, AI is going to replace all the jobs that you are holding on to right now. If you're working for Walmart, Amazon Fulfillment Center, or you're driving Uber, taxi, you got to learn technology. You can only beat technology with technology. And I'm not saying only sign up for this course. I want you to go sign up for Other courses, if you have interest in cybersecurity, if you have interest in AI, the challenging part in AI is you need mathematical, statistical background, strong background. I see kids graduating with computer science degree now, they cannot find a job. Send them to my class. They're not going to find a job. There's absolutely no job for the software developer outside. Bring them to my class because I can teach, they can easily learn DevOps. DevOps is the foundation. Even security sits on DevOps. Mind you, security, Linux is there, DevOps is there. DevOps deploy your applications, use secure applications, use secure systems as a cybersecurity specialist. And if you're starting new in cybersecurity, they're going to go through a whole list of checking to see if you have any germs on you, which of course everybody will have, because this industry is brutal. IT industry is brutal. The minute you graduate from your college, they expect you to have 1 to 3 years of experience. How the hell? Never happens in another industry. Why in IT industry? Because they're so used to people lying. They want people to lie. They want you to lie because they don't want to take the responsibility. It's a lot easier for a manager if you go there saying, I have 3 years of experience. The liability is not on the manager now. It's on you. Would happily entertain you. But if you put your resume with just computer science graduate with 3.9 GPA, with all of these courses, nobody is going to entertain you. You need a mentor. Okay, let's continue. Like the first 3 are the byte and then KB. What about this, Farhan? So you start from the right. Yeah, you start from the right and you start from the baseline, whatever is given to you. This output was given to me in bytes. So I continue byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte. All I want you to know is the order. Byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte. All I want you to know, and the rest, you will figure it out like a smart geek kid. You will shock everybody at work. They're going to ask you, how do you know this? You will, I know, I do the calculation in my mind. Never give the formula out, okay? Well, you have piece of the information, okay? The one that is actually not true. My sister has been working. You have piece of the information. That's your problem. You don't know the bigger picture, okay? So that's why you can't, I cannot argue with you because you only have little tiny piece of the information. You don't know the bigger picture. So if you have a one-on-one with me, then I can explain you why they're doing this and how to get away from this situation. Okay, let's continue. Now we have looked at real quick over here. I want to throw something at you guys. This is what I was talking about. Now, quickly give me the command for the CPU information. How do you check your CPU type and how many CPUs you have in your computer? LS CPU. I love you, beautiful. All right. Give me another command to check your RAM. How much RAM you have, how much memory you have in your computer, and the free and the used RAM. How do you check that? It's an interview question. Quickly give it to me. Free-H. Beautiful. Now let's talk about the hard drive. Oh, you know what is hard drive? Hard drive. Usually they used to be this circular looking thing. And they used to have this arm over here that used to spin. And wherever it's going, it's reading the data, this arm, okay? And so this was the mechanical arm that used to spin like this. And this is your hard drive, used to be this hard drive. And this hard drive was also recognized as SATA hard drive, SATA, okay? And there was a particular speed, I'm not sure if Shahid Bhai is around. Shahid, are you here?
Yes, that's why I'm here.
Shahid Bhai, what's the SATA speed, RPM?
The transfer speed?
Yeah, and to read speed, to read data from the SATA. They have RPMs.
Right. Yeah, it started with 3 gig per second and went to 6, and now it's 12. But the servers is a bit more because it's SAS, and the read speed goes from like the spinning speed. Are you asking for spinning speed?
RPMs, yes.
RPMs, they go from somewhere. The laptops are starting with 5.9 or 5900. Then they go to normal of 72. We have 10,000 RPMs and we have 15,000 RPMs.
So 7,200 RPMs for a laptop, pretty much.
Right, for a laptop, yes.
7,200 rounds per minute. This arm used to make, right? This is the reading speed.
Correct.
reading speed. This is how they have the speed for the hard drive. And what is for the servers for SATA drives? This is
The normal is 10 and performance is 15K.
10,000?
Yes, 10,000.
10,000 RPMs. This is the story with the SATA hard drive. Now in servers, we have something called SSD, solid state hard drive. By the way, this hard drive is not circular looking anymore. This comes like this sort of like this type of hard drive. It doesn't have that spindle like this guy used to have. It's a solid state. It means it doesn't have that arm that it needs to move in order to read. Now, what's the speed on this one, Shahid bhai?
It's read write speed. That's how it's measured.
Read
So
and write. Okay.
read and write. So there's no spinning or RPMs.
Beautiful.
This is solid state. Yes.
Yes.
No motor, no agitator, no arm.
Yes.
So it's solid state. So it's pretty fast. It's like the way the RAM works, and it's also measured in the transfer speed.
Okay.
The
So
transfer-
basically, this is a lot faster than the SATA hard drive.
Oh yes, day and night. The
Okay.
difference of day and night. Yes.
So then, if we have a solid state, right,
Yes.
which store files permanently, our programs are stored on this. When we install the operating system goes and sit on this hard drive. Nowadays, it's normal to have a solid state. When you're buying a laptop, I think most likely your laptop is also coming in a solid state. And I check over here. Shahid, how can I check in my Windows what is my hard drive information? So, do I check with the? Oh, by the way, let's check this information in Windows as well. So type over here, system information, and you can go and see this information. Check over here, 11th i7, 4 cores, right over here, 8 logical processors. You also have 16 gig RAM installed over here in your Windows laptop. I don't know what it is for Mac. I'm sorry, I'm not running Mac. And now if I go to the hardware components over here,
For Mac, it would be about this Mac.
yeah, if I go to the storage and if I go to the drives, I see over here, ladies and gentlemen, I have the size of my hard drive is about 500 gigabyte, 500 gig.
You can also see this information in Task Manager. That's a bit.
Okay, let's just take a look at this over here. This is a standard disk drive. This is a Samsung by Samsung. The size is, look at this. This is the bytes over here. So the first 3 is bytes, byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, 512 gigabyte to be precise. That's why when the information is given to you in bytes, it's very precise, very precise. And if you convert it in gigabytes, then you see 476. But in bytes, you can see this is 512 gigabyte. And where do I go to check in Task Manager? You said it's also in Task Manager?
Yeah, in the bottom on the bar, click left click on it. Matter of fact, right click on the Task Manager. Yeah, you go and click on the performance, and you see the storage on the right side. Disk OS, yes, right there, under memory.
Under memory.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is memory under one step down under memory. Yes.
Oh, disk right over here.
Yes.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. How beautifully it says over here, SSD, NVMe, SSD hard drive. And take a look at this over here. It is showing me that this is a Samsung hard drive. And let me move this up there. And it shows me the capacity. And right now I'm using 1% activity on my hard drive. Okay.
Just one more information, since you mentioned NVMe.
Yeah.
This is actually faster than SATA.
Of course, the whole SSD is faster than SATA.
I mean, this is not SATA connection. So this is NVMe connection.
Oh, okay. The cable connection.
Yeah, there's no connection. It's right on the motherboard. That's why.
Oh, okay. Well, guys, I told you don't mess with Shahid bhai when it comes to hardware. That sounds so not good. Anyway, so we're going to look into hard drive. And we're going to see the hard drive size in Linux. Okay. And then before we look into this hard drive, I just want to tell you in Windows, if you come back over here, if you run your Explorer, File Explorer, that is, just type Explorer in the search menu and you will see File Explorer. And when you come over here, and when you go to this PC, take a look at this over here. This is your hard drive. If I can just see, if I can take a snapshot of this over here. And I can expand this over here. This is the 475 gigabyte or 5,500 gigabyte, roughly speaking. The amount is free. And the one physical hard drive, which is your SSD, this is the picture, 500 GB hard drive. In Windows, when you install the Windows operating system, you refer to this hard drive as a C drive. As you can see over here, it's called a C drive. It's called the C drive. This is how you refer to a physical device or a logical device in Windows. Okay. So the story of hard drive is this. Hard drive usually is your area where you store all of your files. In my case over here, if I double click on this, you can see that the installed operating system, Windows 11, has all of its files sitting in Windows folder. And these are all the drivers, the firmwares, the logs. Operating system has tons of files and tons of programs that it needs to store on the hard drive. And so these are files. And then you also have your programs. For example, I have Google program installed. I have ExpressVPN program installed. I have a bunch of Microsoft programs installed, like Microsoft Word, Excel, the Office suite. I have NVIDIA program for my graphic card. I have VMware program applications is the same word. I have Windows Mail, I have Windows Defender. And if I go down, there's another program files over here. As you can see, I have Adobe over there. I have Internet Explorer. I have Office and OpenVPN. I have Oracle. So if I click on any one of these, you can see that it has subfolders underneath and it has some files underneath. If I can continue to go down, maybe millions of files are located on my hard drive. Now you have idea about those hard drives. And if you look into my download folders, you can see that, I have some of these files. And I don't want to show you my documents, which has a lot of personal files. I have a Linux folder. I have a class 2025 folder. I have a Telegram folder. I have my personal gallery. I have my pictures. I have my videos. I have tons of information saved on my system. All of this information that you're seeing is saved onto the hard drive. Okay. If you go back over here, that this hard drive, everything that you see is stored. There's only one hard drive in my computer, and this hard drive is referred as a C drive. Now, I'm going to come back over here and give you a little bit more understanding. Hard drives, you can have think of hard drive like the land where you want to build your home. That's what it is basically, boundary, starting and finishing point. You cannot get out of this. There's a capacity. This one has a 500 gigabyte capacity. And now it's up to me whether I want to divide this $500 into smaller hard drives. So if I'm a technical person, I could divide this hard drive into two pieces. I can have 250 gigabytes over here. I can have 250 gigabytes over here. This dividing is called partitioning. Partitioning. In this case, do you see any division on my hard drive? Or you see only a one large partition? Partition basically means that partition basically means to divide your hard drive into smaller sizes and have specific partitions used for specific purposes. I only see one large hard drive, which is undivided. If I had divided this into two parts, one would be considered C, the other one would be considered D. This would be C drive. This would be D drive. I could also alternatively call this C partition and the D partition. And the further I divide this hard drive into smaller pieces, the letters would increment E, F, G, or you can choose a letter for that hard drive. So now, in this whole scenario, what I want you to understand is hard drives need a logical letter. Hard drive needs to be referred to in Windows. It is referred as a C drive. It needs a logical point. Reference point, sorry, I should call it a reference point. Reference point. And maybe I should call it a mount point. Mount point. So in theory, my physical hard drive is mounted onto the C drive. Mounted onto C drive. In technical words, there is no logical point. There's no reference letter. The technical word is mounted. In Linux, this is the story for Windows. In Linux, you have a mounting point. There are different mounting points in Linux than Windows. If you have a hard drive, and you want the users to be able to come to this hard drive, this will be available to you as a dev SD. SD means your SSD or SATA drive. And this is just the path to get to this. So when we run the command lsblk, we will see our disk drive and its size. Let's go ahead and run this command. lsblk means list block devices. Let me see before let's read about lsblk. Hard drives are also known as block devices. That's just the name, the geek people like to call it, block device, because there are ways to store data on a network device as well. So the difference between hard drive, there should be some difference, right? Hard drive, network drive. Well, hard drive is a block device. It stores data into blocks on itself. It has a structure, but it's not going to go into too much detail. And it shows me that list block devices. So block device, think of it as a hard drive. It will show me all of my hard drives. And once again, hard drive is just there to show me my storage is as a hard drive. -H is there. Okay. I want to know if this one has any human readable thingy. Okay. I didn't see that. So let's run lsblk. And ladies and gentlemen, let's just understand this information over here, because we are learning a new system, because it's all command based. So we need to understand a little bit. So for now, we just need to understand we have a hard drive called SDA. This is a one hard drive. And on the SDA, we have created two partitions, 1 and 2. And if I look at the size of my hard drive, it's 930 gigabytes. It is a disk. Okay, it's a disk. So if I can highlight this over here, 930 gigabyte. SDA is my one hard drive. And then, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at this SDA1, this is my first partition. That means I have the hard drive divided into two parts. And SDA2 is my second partition. And as soon as I see SDA, I know this is referred to as a hard drive. First hard drive. If I see somewhere SDB, that means this could be my second hard drive. And if I see SDC, that means that's my third hard drive. Just like in Windows, you have a C drive and you have a D drive, you have a E drive. So from this output over here, the only thing that I want you to know is there's a one hard drive. This is a hard drive. And then there are two partitions, partition 1, partition 2. I don't care about all of this information. I don't care. I don't know. I don't understand what this is all about. I don't need to understand. So far, I know I have SDA1 hard drive. Its size is 930. It's a disk. That's all. My life is beautiful. Okay. Now, once again, quickly going back to my commands. I want you to give me the command that will give me the number of CPUs on my system, ls CPU, on the test. I want you to give me a command that will show me all the memory, installed memory and free memory and used memory, free-h on the test. I need you to give me a command that will show me my hard drives on my system, block devices, LSBLK on the test. SDA is a hard drive. It is 930 gigabyte. It's a disk. It has two partitions, SDA1, SDA2. I don't care about any of this stuff. I don't care. Leave it alone. This is not for us to know. Good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, going back to my resources, so far we have looked into CPU, we have looked into RAM, we have looked into hard drive. Now, one part is remaining. By the way, question. When you guys connect to my machine, connect to the server over here, the server 101, this is the server 101, what resource your machine hits on my server first? What is the first thing you touch before you come to my server? I want to see if you understand this. No, the shell is on your thingy. Before you get to the shell, ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend called Nick. Nick stands for Network Interface Card. Nick is your network card. Let me show you over here. The Nick. Where did it? Right here. The NIC. This is how the network card looks like. And the cable goes inside. You come to this right over here. First thing is you touch the network card, which is this whole thing. It's a physical device. This physical device needs to have some configuration. An IP address, subnet mask, default gateway. If any of this information is incorrect on my server, you cannot come into this network. You cannot connect with my server. Okay. Let's find out the information about this network card because we are following this whole thing over here, resources. Yeah. So now we're at over here. We know about this guy, LSBLK. We know about this one, free hyphen, free command will work, but free hyphen H. We know about this one, ls CPU. And by the way, these are all the commands that system administrators, system engineers use these commands on daily basis. The developers, they don't know about this stuff. This is a specific domain. System administrator, system engineer would only work with these things. The application guys, the cybersecurity guys, the AI guys, they don't know anything about this. Okay. So question being asked, how is NIC different than the router? Well, understand one thing. Servers, every dash is like a server. They all connect to a switch. They all have NIC card. NIC, not a NIC card, because network interface card is NIC. It's wrong to say NIC card. They all have NIC. Using this NIC, you can say network R2. You can say network adapter 2. The cable goes into the switch, into each one of these ports. Unique port, physical device. And then this switch is connected to a router. Router also has a network card. Okay. 2 network cards. This switch gets connected to this network card. This network card goes into another router to connect you to a different network. So what is the difference between NIC and the router? This is router, this is switch. Router is connecting 2 different networks, network over here, network over there. And each network needs a switch. The network card assigns the IP address to your machine. It basically has the cable plugged in. The connection that you're making to my server is through this network card. If somebody was to unplug the cable from this network card, boom, everybody will be locked out. I hope you understand the difference. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this information over here. Ladies and gentlemen, the command that I want to give you is NMCLI, Network Management Command Line Interface. NMCLI. Let's read about this. Command line tool for controlling network manager. It will give you information about your network card. Okay? Command line tool. Okay, let's take a look at this. NMCLI. And ladies and gentlemen, when I run NMCLI, it brings up this information for me. If I make this bigger, a lot of information is thrown over here, but I'm going to go to the first one over here. I'm going to take a snapshot of this. Okay, I need to cancel out your hand up over here. Sorry. Where did I run the NMCLI? Let me run this again. Can you guys run NMCLI? Okay. This is where we started. So let's get a snipping tool over here. And I am giving you a lot of information. All right. I'm giving you tons of information. I don't know if you guys like it or you hate it. But NMCLI, if you look at this over here, ladies and gentlemen, if you hate me, just type over there, I hate you. It's okay. Even though everybody tells you not to use that word, hate, it's perfectly fine. If you hate me, say I hate you. And it's okay. It's perfectly fine. I will figure out why you hate me. And I will try to make myself better. NMCLI is the command that we run. This is the name of the network card that we are using right over here. Sorry. Right here, which is called the ENO1 Ethernet. And this Broadcom is the company that made this device. Remember, it's a physical device. Broadcom. They are subsidiary of Next Extreme. Okay, this is the company that made this device. And now the IP address for this one is this right over here. 10.1.10.100. And this is the subnet mask. /24 is the subnet mask. And this is the default gateway 10. Oh, right here. This is the default gateway. Everything else, I don't care about Docker. I don't care about this. I don't care about this. Because this is disconnected, this is disconnected, this is disconnected. Docker has to do with the virtualization, which I'm not concerned about. And this connection, even though this is a network card, but there is no cable, it's disconnected, disconnected, disconnected. Okay, once again, let's go this one more time. All I want you to know is that the network card, how about I give you another easy command? NMCLI, but let me repeat this NMCLI one more time. And then I will give you an easy command to see your IP address, because all I want to know is the IP address. Let's take a look at this over here. Again. Oops. Again. NMCLI is the command. This is the name of my network card. Nickname. What is it? ENO1. Is it 0 or O? It's O. ENO. It says connected. That means the cable is connected to this. This company is the maker of this device. They actually produce this device. The manufacturer. Now, I want to get the IP address. This is the IP address over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pick a different address. INET4 is the IP address. IP address is 10.1.10.100. Okay. And the default gateway is right here. 10.1.10.1. This is the default gateway, a router. You refer to this as gateway. Okay. Okay, if this is too much for you to handle, don't worry. Nothing to panic over here. Let's take a look at another command over here. Hey, Nasser bhai, what's the easiest way to get the server IP address? The easy command.
They should use hostname -I.
Hostname -I. There you go. 10.1.10.100. This is your IP address, the first one. Another command to check your IP address is IPADDR. Oops. That's a lot of information to do. Right here.
Maybe if config would be easier if that.
All right, let's do the if config. Clear? If config. All right, I think we can do with this. All right, I think I like if config, man. I like it. This is a lot easier. All right, let me break this down over here. You see why they would pay so much money for a DevOps engineer or Linux admin. Linux admin do not make that much money now, by the way. It's a thing of the past. Okay? DevOps engineer. Before you become a DevOps engineer, you need to become a Linux admin. Once again, this is the name of the interface. This is Docker. I don't care about Docker. Not right now. Out. Another network card. Another network card. Another network card. Let's pay attention to this network card. What is my INET? Is IP address. Right here. What is my subnet mask? 255.255.0. Right here. Okay. That's it. Why not this one? Why would you not looking into this one? Because I don't see the INET over here. That means this is not connected. Okay. And I don't see an INET over here too. This is not connected. So this one is connected. And how can you tell this is connected? You can see over here, there's some type of packet exchange going on over here. This many packets are coming in, going out, packets. Okay. And this is just beautiful information. If you are heading toward the cybersecurity domain, this is what you would be dealing with. All of these numbers, TX, RX, collisions, dropped. That's what the cybersecurity guys look into. EN02, let's take a look at this. Let me see if it has any IP address over here. Does it have any IP address over here? I know that this is Ethernet. This is also an Ethernet. But, ladies and gentlemen, there's no IP address over here. Right? So it doesn't have an IP address. I'm not concerned with it. Okay. Do these servers get DDoS attack frequently? Yes, there are a lot of type of attacks that these servers go through and they block them. Okay. All right, so now I have a command to check my IP address. Number one, host name -I. This is my IP address. Number two, if config. Right here, subnet mask 2. Number three, NMCLI. Easy, INET. By the way, /24. /24. Oops, sorry. /24 means here. /24 refers to subnet mask 255.255.0. Give me just 1 second over here. You see, when I type the command wrong syntax, what does it say over here? Command not found. And then it suggests me similar command is nmcli because I had a typo over here. Oh my God, this is, oh, not signed by, you're beautiful. Hey folks, forget about everything over here. This is beautiful. Signed by suggested me another command over here, which I knew, but I had forgotten. nmcli dev show. All right. How many of you are having a brain ache right now? Brain ache. How many of you are having a brain ache right now? Please be honest, okay? It's all right. It's all right. Let me see. Okay, we're going to stop over here. Listen, folks, all I wanted you to get is the IP address over here. IP address. You have this information with you. We will be uploading this video on a YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, you can rewatch this video. You'll be fine. I did not teach you so much information today. I just taught you uname command. I taught you lscpu. I taught you free-h. I taught you lsplk. I taught you nmcli, fconfig. The most commands you're going to learn in Linux, I don't think they're going to exceed 100. If 100 commands can put 100K in your pocket, is this a good deal or bad deal? This is a good deal or bad deal? Everything is a perspective in life. Yes, it's giving me brain ache. Yes, you're having a really, a hard time right now. In order for you to get easy in your life and get comfortable, you have to be uncomfortable first. Believe me, there were days when I was working 16 hours, not on the bed, on the floor. I used to wake up with the books on my left side, computers on my right side. But guess what did it do for me? It enabled me to pay off my home. How many people you know in your life that live in a paid off home? How many people you know? It enabled me to buy the cars that I love. I have owned BMW, Mercedes, Range Rover. I can walk into Bentley showroom today and I can walk out with a Bentley. I can go to any car shop and I can buy any car. I was this close to buying Lamborghini, but then I was like, oh my God, my wife is going to yell at me. That's the only reason I stepped back. She's going to get insecure. Okay. And I have more information to give you, but it's going to blow up your mind. I was very uncomfortable. 16 hours working. 16 hours working without even looking. Believe me, I developed melasma over my face. Right now I have a sunscreen. Those of you who have hyperpigmentation, those of you who have marks on your face, ping me. I will give you a recipe to get rid of them. Because I was glued to my screen 24/7. And the light that reflects on your face, if you're not using a sunscreen, is going to damage your skin. My skin was damaged. If I show you my picture from 4 or 5 years ago, you're not going to recognize. So I actively use sunscreen right here, actually. Take a look at this. I make sure I apply this every 2 to 3 hours. So what I'm saying is, yes, it's tough. But what's easy in life? Are you ready? When the robot is going to take over your job, what are you going to do? You start preparing now. And I'm showing you the pathway to success. 6 months can change your life. 6 months can bring you 6-figure salary. And by the way, in my humble opinion, if you're not making 100K, I don't care where you live in the United States, you are living below poverty. You're just making ends meet. Is that how you want to spend your life? Okay. So the time is 3 o'clock and we had a fun learning session. These are some of the things that I tell you to motivate yourself to keep going. There's no quitting. There's no stepping back. There's only stepping forward. What is this? Okay, what are you saying over here? Let's take some questions over here real quick, okay? I am going to lower all the hands and then you're gonna raise your hands and then you're gonna ask questions. So 1, 2, 3. There you